am NetMoverSitan, and I am finally getting on with completing the garden tower. Although I am a bit short, well, I soon won't be short of flowers. Just need quite a few for the last two bits of one half of the spiral. And then all I need to do is to fill where it isn't filled with water. That way the Enderman can't get in there, because the touch of water is like acid to them. Much like vampires in the Legacy of Kain series. And it's looking unlikely that all the loose ends will be tied up. Well, what loose ends remain in that story. Oh yes, and sometime next month, Shovel Knight King of Cards will be out on Steam. In the meantime, I'm playing something different from what I usually do. A point-and-click game which is rather graphic, gory in places. Fran Bow. Or Bow. Yeah, I think that's the correct one. Let's just say it involves a mix of insanity, an altered perspective of reality, and I don't even know what to make sense of it. Yeah. It wasn't what I thought it was. And I like it. Yeah. Off camera, I'll also be building the Stronghold Tower. As in, where the stronghold might be accessed. Yes. Soon I will be exploring that. And in that, I will do an extra long video. Yes. An extra strong... No, extra long. Yes, that's the right word. Where there's bound to be plenty of monsters to bring painful death to. With my sword that burns. Yeah, that's what it does. And the rabbit's leap bow, which never runs out of ammo, because of the infinity enchantments. By the whiskers of Mercury and the strings of May. Took me long enough to get this far, didn't it? Where I'm at a point where I can get to the stronghold. Well, if it isn't, it's certainly in the right direction. And then there's the matter of finding the gate to the end. Yes, where the Ender Dragon awaits. Oh yes, and there is the matter of building a stadium for the battle against the Wither. I'm thinking something similar to the boss arena for the Cyber Demon in the original Doom. except with iron golems backing me up as distractions. Right. Yeah. I'm in the wrong... Yeah, it's this spiral. Yes, that is where the flowers are needed. Yeah, as you can see, there's still some plots where flowers need to be put before I can work on adding water. Right, now where next? Oh yes, some of these, the peony. Need more of those. Yeah. And one comment wondered why I didn't do more horror games like Perception. Well, yeah. Ever heard of Alien Isolation? I've done that one. If that's not a horror game, I'd like to know what is. I mean... we're talking about a life form that unloads its young via eggs into a host's body where even males can give birth. You don't call that horror? Yeah. Blood everywhere. Yeah. Although there might be a time when I want to take a break from the more cerebral games and move on to something that is a bit more violent. Then again, from what I've seen of this standalone expansion, Super Hot, Mind Control Deletes. Yeah, I didn't think I was done with Super Hot. Or rather, I did think I was done with Super Hot until I saw that. Yeah, went through all the challenge modes. Yeah, including the one where all I had to work with was my fists. Yeah, have to do it like it's... well, like you see in some martial arts movies where it's pretty much unrealistic. Not that detaches from the fun, though. Or rather the ridiculousness and the insanity of it. Speaking of martial arts, let's just say there's a Matrix reference in Frambo. A rather obvious one for those who have seen that movie. Or even the trilogy of it. Oh yes, and have you ever thought that some people are just giving you a hard time for no real reason, other than to, well, simply prop up their self-esteem by diminishing yours? Well, it reminds me of a British sitcom. Something in that which applies to that situation. Basically, the abused always kick downwards. The writer of that, well, he had a point there. Yeah. Some people criticise for no real reason other than for the sake of it. Oh yeah, that's something else that another sitcom had a point with. Which explains one or two of those who have power. Yeah, if you want to test someone's character, give them power. Yeah. You had a point there, Abraham Lincoln. A liberator to some, a destroyer of business to others. Yes, the emancipator. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if a load of white supremacists make effigies of him and burn the effigies when they're sure they can get away with it. As in, no one of consequence is watching. Yeah, that seems to be another part of the bad joke that is life. The morally bankrupt are those who have pretty much all the power, and those who could use it responsibly, well, they don't have it. And the worst part about it is those with at least some moral integrity, they're not laughing. And guess what behaviour that encourages? I mean, expecting others to remain good when even a means of survival is considered evil. I mean, means of survival that doesn't have what I'd call hidden costs. And when I mean hidden costs, I don't mean financial. Well, it might be financial, but there are other costs that are not obvious. Well, not to some, anyway. Oh yes, and I've completed Ori and the Blind Forest, Definitive Edition, which has some additional story, new areas and abilities, and provides some challenge to me. Oh yes, and super hot, mind-controlled elites. It's still in early access, so it's not out yet. Although, since I already have the original game, I don't have to buy it again. At least according to the trailer, and until I learn otherwise. I'll accept that. Oh yes, and apparently it's a roguelike game. Oh yes, and player-unknown battlegrounds. That doesn't really do anything for me. A sort of battle royale type game where to win you just have to be the last one standing after killing quite a few. Last year was considered the year of the loot box. Who knows what they're going to call this year? Let's hope it isn't something much worse. Then again, I seem to be getting an impression that I'm toast. And it's only going to get rougher. Considering that at some point last month I actually felt close to the late John Hurt during that scene in Alien. Yeah, that scene. If you're feeling brave enough, or you're already barking, please watch Alien. In fact, it will also give you some background for Alien Isolation, as it's set between that movie and Aliens. Oh yeah. I'm not sure about Time Spinners. That seems to be in development hell. Not much info on that. Then again, it's better to have a well-made game than a quick one. Mostly because if it's rushed, then it's ruined. I mean, they had to redo Bioshock Infinite 3 times before the final release, and it's a good job that they did. As I highly doubt that it would have been of the quality that it was, and Oh yes, and as for those criticism junkies, do you know what I think should happen to you? Let's just say that it will involve red-hot pokers. And no, I'm not bluffing. I hope I haven't given you nightmares. What? Did you think I was sane? I think you're confusing me with someone who is sane. Yeah, I'll probably do the rest of this off camera. Besides, I think I remember some decorative stone that I need for the stronghold tower. Yeah, I made a start on that. Quite recently. In fact, the start of it was off... Yeah, it was on camera. It was during an expansion of the walkway. Oh yes. And as for the narration of Shovel Knight, yeah, that'll be my best attempt at going full Brian Blessed. As in the kind of person that you wouldn't want being in a library. Because someone who is loud and less than subtle like he is, well, that's not what you want in a library, is it? Yeah. Let's see. Probably won't be doing any repeat runs of any of the Dark Souls games. I mean, have you seen the playlists? How long it took me to get through it the first time? I mean, can you imagine me doing it the... Yeah. I mean, do you honestly think that if it's ridiculously long, I'd play it the second time? When there are so many other fresh projects I can start. In fact, you might get a bit bored of this if I did it again. I mean, even if I did it with one of the most useless melee weapons in the game, then it's not gonna happen. Oh yeah. There's also Soul Blades. Apparently something with Square Enix's hand. Well, they're affiliated with this. Made by a Polish developer. Which apparently is putting role-playing back into role-playing games. Well, that's what anyway. I've been keeping track of that one. I only hope that they don't ruin it. Otherwise, it will be a good concept. Ruin. Oh yeah. And if you're gonna report on a game that's reportedly going to be responsible for violence, they could at least get their facts straight. Because if they don't get their facts straight, well, they're just gonna look a bit of a fool. In fact, aren't politicians a mix of fools and the morally bankrupt? Sometimes they're both, I mean... I mean, building a bridge between England and France. I mean, literally, a bridge. When there are some things that... I mean, if the basics aren't done right, I mean... an underfunded police force? I mean... why do you want a bridge? In fact, could that be the same thing that could be said for all policies decided for us? If someone can't even get that right, that person, there's a good chance they're going to be hated. Yeah, that's the problem with autocracy. It's only as good as the one on top. If the one on top is good at what they do, then they're going to be loved. If it's the case that they're not good at what they do, they're going to be hated. I mean, just look at the revolutions that have happened last century. And you'll get... in fact, just look at the French Revolution. Or even the execution of Charles I. Yeah, that's one lesson that's doomed to be repeated. And that lesson is... ignore public opinion at your own risk, or even the opinion of those who help keep things together. Because if they feel they have nothing to lose, they're not going to stand for it. And those who were once on your side will, quite willingly, turn their backs on you. And in the worst cases, get rid of you. Because they believe that you're not really necessary. You're a redundancy. There's one or two in the British Isles. In fact, probably quite a few that believe that the royal family isn't that necessary and there should be a republic. Don't you mean make it officially a republic? I mean, well, it'll just replace one lie with another. And anyway, as far as political power is concerned, they don't really have it, do they? Royalty. In fact, the closest that the UK had come to being a republic was during the reign of Queen Victoria, during the years of seclusion after Prince Albert died of typhoid. I mean, to begin with, they were understanding, but as it dragged on, patience grew thin and almost ran out. Yeah, that's one thing that has to be careful with a quick change of regime, to make sure that a lie isn't replaced with another. Where one tyrant is removed only for another one to be a replacement. A replacement that's worse. Until next time. Hail the rabbit!